Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another malicious compliance Reddit video. In our first story, I guess the car is still mine then. Let's jump right in. I'm not exactly sure this fits the sub, but I want to share this story, so here goes. When I was 18, in the late 1990s, I had a silver AMC Spirit with powder blue interior. I didn't know crap about cars, but it was a sexy little oil-dribbling thing. It had bald tires that would spin the car 360 if I didn't brake cautiously, but I loved it. Until it died unexpectedly and I had to have it towed to a shop a week before I was to leave the country for 4 months. I was a kid and didn't know cars, and something major was wrong that I don't remember, but I couldn't afford to fix it. It was something like $4,000 to repair. I couldn't afford it and was leaving the country for a while anyway. The mechanic said I could just leave it there and they would just deal with it or scrap it if I didn't care. Cool. I no longer have a car, but I'm leaving anyway, so who cares? I paid the bill for the work they did and left. When I got home from my many months abroad, I went through a massive stack of mail that included one letter saying the car had been impounded, another that it had been auctioned off, and after the auction date, several parking tickets that amounted to about $400. I called the city and asked how I could be liable for parking tickets after the car was auctioned to a new owner. They said it was still in my name. The new owner hadn't changed the title, it was my responsibility. I was furious, but what could I do? The title was in my name and they couldn't even give me the name of the person who bought it. I had to pay or it would be sent to collections. So I'm walking to my friend's apartment a block away from my old place, and right across the street from her building, I see my car. I still have keys, so I go home and frantically grab them and go back. I get into the car and start pulling all the papers from the glove box and sort through them looking for the new owner's name. Just then, 2 guys run up screaming that I'm in their car, and what the flip do I think I'm doing? I say, you bought it from auction and didn't change the title. You owe me $400 for the parking tickets in my name. They insist they don't owe me crap. Not my fault you left it in your name. I smile and calmly start the engine and say, okay then, it's in my name, it's legally mine, and I drive away. Thanks for repairing the engine. Edit for clarification, I was young and naive. I couldn't afford to have the car towed outside the city to the house of friends or family. Remember, I was leaving the country for 4 months. There was nowhere off the street in the city to leave it, let alone have it repaired. The mechanic was kind and said he would take it off my hands, which was a relief. But remember the young and naive thing? Yeah, I handed him the title and thought that was all I had to do. The mechanic apparently pushed the car onto the street from where it was impounded. It was then auctioned off by the city. The city gave the title to the new owner. The parking tickets were racked up by the new owner. There were dates on all this paperwork that was mailed to me. I did try to fight the tickets, had a copy of the bill of sale from the auction, but they still said there was nothing they could do because the buyer didn't transfer the title into their name. Back and forth to different government offices, all the while new tickets were being issued. I was pissed the city didn't have to transfer the title out of my name when they claimed possession of it, but sold it and gave the buyer the title, the same one I handed the mechanic. So, it was late last night when I recalled this story and decided to share it on Reddit, but here is a bit I left out. When I got into the car and checked the paperwork in the glove box, I found the title. Still in my name, they had not even signed it. Also, in the glove box was their bill of sale from the auction. They were clearly young and naive too. What happened after? Never heard from them again. I had the car for another year or two, put new tires on it, and sold it properly before another trip abroad. And you better believe I had them sign the title in front of me, and I filed the sale with the DMV that day, giving them, I think, a week to file or be fined. Story number 2. You want an omelet with nothing inside? So my first job was a server at a very popular 24-hour breakfast diner chain. We had lots of colorful customers. One morning, I'm serving a woman sitting by herself. I ask her what I can get her, and she says she'd like an omelet. We have a list of pre-built omelets, or you can build your own. So I ask her how she'd like her omelet. "Just a regular omelet, please," she tells me. "Okay, so you don't want one of the signature omelets. What would you like inside of yours?" I ask. "Nothing, just a regular omelet," she replies with a huff. I pause for a second because this order does occur, but not often. Some people like their eggs scrambled and cooked, then rolled up. So you'd like an omelet with nothing inside. "Yes, a plain omelet," she snaps, now irritated that I've questioned her several times. So I enter the order, a 5-egg omelet with no fillings and no toppings. A few minutes later, it comes out and she is appalled. "What is this?" "Your plain omelet," I reply. "But where is the cheese or the ham or the onions?" She is irate. "Ma'am, you ordered an omelet with nothing inside." She gets cocky and says, "An omelet is eggs rolled up with ham, cheese, and onions. Everything else is extra. You should know this working at a breakfast place." I look at her deadpan and inform her, "Actually, ma'am, omelet is French for scrambled eggs that are fried and rolled or folded. Everything else is extra." I'm busy, so I walk off and help other colorful customers. Meanwhile, she flags down a manager to complain, who confirms what I told her and points out that in the menu there is very specifically a ham, cheese, and onion omelet with a large picture in the middle of the page. She then tells her she has to reorder her meal and wait a second time. She didn't leave a tip. Story number 3, we cut the damn burrito in half. So I bartend at a Mexican restaurant, and we often have guests that share the burrito. It isn't uncommon to have people ask if we can cut the burrito in half for them. The thing is, we give them a steak knife for the burrito so they can cut it up whatever way they want. Whenever someone requests that the burrito be cut in half, I let them know we're going to get them a proper knife for the table, and that's usually the end of the conversation. Sometimes it's an older guest or a parent with some young kids, and in that case, of course, we help you out because you need the help. So one day, 2 young couples came in to dine with us, and I got that request from one of the young guys as he and his girlfriend were going to share the burrito. I let him know that we would get him a steak knife, but it wasn't enough for him. He was insisting that we cut it and getting pretty flipping heated about it. Unless these 2 were going to swallow each half like snakes, I didn't see the point. I got tired of trying to explain that he can use the knife however he wants, and finally acquiesced. What pissed me off is after I agreed, he sat back all smug and put his arm around his girl and said, "You see, that wasn't so hard, was it?" So I put the order in and told the chef, "We're gonna cut this burrito in half for this guy, but we're going to do it lengthwise." He was confused at first, but when I told him about this kid, he was all for it. So the food came up and I ran it for them. A burrito beautifully cut in half, evenly across the whole length of the burrito. It was impressively done, actually. I dropped the food and I could tell he was pissed. I was rehearsing my response in my head, but he didn't say anything. I think he got the point that I wouldn't give a crap what he had to say anyway. So, after a silent time serving them, they got the bill, didn't tip, left quietly and left a 1-star review the next day and never returned. Nowadays, when I ask the chef to cut the burrito for a family or some other guest that could use the help, he jokingly asks me which way he should cut it. This is John from /Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe. And make sure you click on the notifications bell so that you actually get to see my videos. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.